But as far as the fight, I feel like Bug could beat him easy. How though?
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fighter in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating.
Up in New York when Hamza fought Berlanga, and he doesn't look too small anymore. He's filled out a lot. Looked quite big.
Experts believe Terence Crawford has the perfect tools to defeat Canelo Alvarez, highlighting his unmatched adaptability and ring IQ. Stephen A. Smith confidently predicts that Crawford will beat Canelo, speaking without hesitation. While he respects Canelo's greatness, Smith insists Crawford's skill set and mindset give him the edge. In his view, if any fighter can overcome Canelo's power and dominance, it's Crawford.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes,
Who
love
gonna
boxing.
win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fighter in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You
will
gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud,
Right.
it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always
gotta
ready.
give
He's
him that.
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's going to knock him.
Analysts have drawn a compelling comparison between Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. They argue that Spence, like Canelo, fights with a Mexican-influenced style, a blend of grit, skill, and relentless pressure. Since Crawford decisively defeated Spence, many believe he can do the same to Canelo. Spence's technical skills, footwork, and body attacks are comparable to Canelo's strengths. This suggests that Crawford's adaptability and sharp ring IQ could allow him to neutralize Canelo's style just as he did with Spence.
31 wins by way of knockout. Is there a drastic difference in skill set and style between Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez? There's not. There's not. There's obvious differences. But is there a drastic difference? No. Errol Spence is flat-footed, aggressive, come forward, and a pressure fighter. Canelo Alvarez is aggressive, come forward, flat-footed, and a pressure fighter. Overall, their skill set is pretty much the same skill set. The difference is durability. For one, Canelo Alvarez has as great of a chin as there is in the sport of boxing historically, where we've seen Errol Spence hurt in the past, early in his career, and then you've seen him, buzzed by your Dana Sugas. But obviously, Errol Spence has suffered the horrific car accident, okay? Errol Spence suffered the 2 major eye injuries.
Shakur Stevenson dismisses concerns about weight differences between Crawford and Canelo. He insists that Crawford's talent, timing, and ring IQ outweigh any size disadvantage. Stevenson argues that Crawford has faced a wide variety of styles and elite opponents, proving he can adapt to any situation. For him, boxing isn't about size, it's about timing, precision, and execution. He firmly believes Crawford can beat Canelo with the right strategy.
I feel like Bug could beat him easy. How though? What are your thoughts on Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez? Terence going up another 2 weight classes. Just got to 54. He's skipping 60, going straight to 68, talking about what's going on.
I feel like once he beat Canelo, that will be like one of the greatest resumes in boxing ever, just because of the fact that he's going up 2 divisions just to fight this guy, and this guy's bigger than him. And not only did you just crush Errol Spence, but you go out there and the way that he beats Canelo too. If he go out there and just dominate and make it an easy fight, honestly, I think that that's going to be like one of the best resumes I ever seen. But as far as the fight, I feel like Bud could beat him easy.
How though? Don't give me everything. Just how is it?
For me, it's a blueprint already. Floyd was a lot smaller than Canelo when he fought him. You keep Canelo on the outside. I ain't going to even say too much, but you keep him on the outside and make it easy.
Amir Khan defends Crawford against criticism over size and power. He praises Crawford's precision, body targeting ability, and tactical control, which he used to dismantle fighters like Errol Spence. Khan emphasizes that Crawford's intelligent movement and pinpoint accuracy can trouble even bigger opponents. According to him, those underestimating Crawford's skills are overlooking how dangerous his sharp bodywork and fight IQ really are.
With both fighters, so yeah, I'm thinking of maybe going there. I've been asked to go there and obviously give my input on the fight before they go in the ring. And obviously I know both fighters. Canelo's a friend now after our fight we had, and also Crawford had shared training camp with him as well. It's a good fight. Well, I'm not going to say too much.
Okay.
I'm going to save it till on the day of the fight.
Okay.
But look, it's going to be a mega fight. Honestly, it's hard to pick the winner. Yeah. But like I said, it's a close one.
I know you said you don't want to say too much, but when people talk about Crawford boxing on the outside and using it as a movement, almost making it boring in a sense, do you think he can do that with the added weight that gets put on and him boxing in that certain style that we haven't really seen him box like before? In terms of boxing on the outside and almost sort of that stick and movement type.
You're talking about Crawford, yeah?
Crawford, yeah.
Look, Crawford's going to probably do the same thing that he knows best, which is box, be smart, slow movements, small steps. It's only small steps he's taking. So I mean, look, and it's always worked for him. Every fight he's been in, we thought that the fight with Spence was going to be hard, and he made it look so easy. Now, we've never really seen him in a hard fight where we've seen him in trouble. So maybe this could be the fight that puts him in that trouble to see what he's going to be like when he's under pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean? We've never seen either fighter under pressure, like a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't say...
Maybe Golovkin for Canelo, I guess you could say.
Exactly, yeah, Golovkin, yeah. But other than that, I don't class the Mayweather fight a hard fight, because Mayweather just a runner, wasn't he?
Yeah. But, Bivol was, I guess Bivol had the size.
Bivol had the size advantage, but this one, I think Canelo has the size advantage. But then again, I've always said Crawford puts on the weight well. If you look at size of him, you see his picture when he was like 185. He looked huge, but he looked jacked up, and he looked strong at the weight as well.
Promoter Eddie Hearn admits he once doubted Crawford's chances against Canelo. But after meeting him in person, he was struck by Crawford's confidence and determination. Hearn explains that at the elite level, mindset can make all the difference. While he still acknowledges Canelo's strengths, Hearn now sees a realistic path for Crawford to win, fueled by his mental edge and technical brilliance.
Are you still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
No, I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. But I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I travelled with him to the fight, and, but it's a 50-50 fight. I think gun to head, I'm probably picking Crawford right now. But I want Canelo to win. And he can win for sure. But Terence is going to make it really tricky and awkward for him, and I don't think he's going to like that kind of fight.
Former world champion Andy Lee calls Canelo versus Crawford a great fight for boxing. He downplays weight concerns, noting that Crawford, after moving up, looks strong and well-conditioned. Lee argues that Canelo's natural size advantage won't guarantee victory. In his view, Crawford's speed, angles, and versatility could neutralize Canelo's physical edge and make the fight thrilling for fans.
like every good fight, you know, no one really knows the skill and competitiveness and ring craft of Crawford, or, you know, you can say the same things about Canelo, but just he has that size. And but I see Crawford in New York when Hamza fought Berlanga, and he doesn't look too small anymore. He's filled out a lot. He looks quite big. It's a great fight. I think they're equally matched in skill, and it's going to be one of the best fights. It's going to, like, when you see how skillful both fighters are, the tricks they have, and how they fight. It should be one of the best fights of the last, I don't know how many years. You know, it should be up there with the best fights we can remember.
Yeah. Does the weight putting on for Crawford?
Some analysts caution that Crawford is entering uncharted territory against naturally bigger fighters like Canelo. While Crawford has dominated in lower divisions, he hasn't consistently faced opponents of Canelo's size, power, and durability. Meanwhile, Canelo has beaten numerous elite fighters at this level, showcasing both strength and tactical mastery.
This is what scares me going into this Terence Crawford fight. These are the guys Canelo's typically fighting. This is his last opponent, William Scull. William Scull is far from a great opponent. When we're talking about sheer size and strength, Canelo is just way more built and used to taking on larger guys and overpowering them. Look at William Scull. This guy is jacked. He's huge, man. And that makes me think, like, if Canelo has been taking punches from guys like this, I'm not saying William Scull in particular, but guys like William Scull, the size of William Scull, and he's been dropping them, stopping them, beating them around the ring, overpowering, over-muscling, just everything, physically demanding over them. That makes me think, man, Terence Crawford, I don't know what, you gonna have to come with some heat, dog.
Because of this, analysts stress that Crawford must be flawless from start to finish. To win, he'll need perfect execution, unwavering focus, and quick adaptability. Conditioning will be critical, as Canelo's pressure could wear him down over time. Crawford must also prove he can withstand Canelo's heavy shots while keeping up his offensive output. Every round will pose new challenges, and even the smallest lapse could cost him. To make history, Crawford must combine discipline, resilience, and creativity at the highest level.
This guy is half the size of William Scull. There's nothing cut about him. There's nothing popping out, bulging. There's nothing. Look at this. This is insanity. That's why I'm really like, dude, I don't know. Canelo could go in there and walk through Terence Crawford like a hot knife through butter. That is definitely on the table here. He gonna have to be really crafty, really savvy, and have to put on some amazing work from the outside. If he tries to sit there and walk through Canelo, he gonna hit a brick wall, dog. If guys built like this ain't walking through Canelo, even when Canelo looks like this, Terence Crawford ain't doing it, man. I gotta be honest.
Virgil Ortiz takes a more skeptical view. He argues that Crawford hasn't truly tested himself at this higher weight, and that fighting Canelo without prior experience at this level is risky. Carrying extra pounds affects stamina, footwork, and reaction speed. Ortiz points out that Canelo has been competing and dominating at this weight for years, giving him a clear advantage. While he respects Crawford's skills, Ortiz warns the physical strain could tilt the fight heavily in Canelo's favor.
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just going to treat him as a 147-pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing, you know. The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10,
right, yeah.
You know.
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
yes.
Right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he going to be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter. And look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it. But can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
It favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew. But if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. Okay. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
There's also debate about how the outcome will be judged. If Crawford wins, he'll earn credit for overcoming a bigger champion. But if Canelo wins, some may dismiss it as simply beating a smaller man. On the other hand, if Canelo loses, the backlash could be severe. Critics would question how one of boxing's pound-for-pound greats lost to a naturally smaller opponent. This narrative adds even more intrigue and pressure for both fighters.
You know what sucks for Canelo Alvarez? The fact that when he beats Terrence Bud Crawford, he's really not going to get much credit for this victory. Although Terrence is an undefeated fighter, he's a pound-for-pound star, one of the biggest names in American boxing, but he's going up 3 weight divisions, and on paper, Canelo Alvarez should win this fight, and he should win it in a dominant fashion. And that's what sucks about this fight, because Canelo really doesn't gain much from beating Crawford. The only one who really can gain anything that is Crawford. And I guarantee you, after Canelo Alvarez beats Terrence Bud Crawford, all the fans that were saying this is an easy fight for Crawford, Canelo's washed, Crawford's going to win by KO, all these crazy things, right? Those same people are going to be saying, oh, Canelo's a cherry picker. He doesn't want to fight real fighters. He's ducking Benavidez. He's ducking the rematch against Dimitri Bivol. And it's going to be like, man, Canelo he just can't win. But you're going to see, man, the narrative is going to totally flip. And it's going to be a very crazy thing to watch. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. Do you think Canelo Alvarez will receive any credit for beating Terrence Bud Crawford? Let's talk about it and follow me for more boxing talk.
Regardless of the result, this fight promises to be a massive spectacle, possibly one of the biggest sports events streamed on Netflix. 2 of the best fighters of their era will finally clash, aiming to prove who is superior. These rare, cross-division super fights often define legacies, and this one has all the ingredients to be remembered for years to come.
This is huge news for boxing, UFC, and Netflix. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez will officially be on September the 13th on Netflix. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is, of course, the UFC, TKO, recently acquired their new strange boxing model with Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White promoting it. And this actually will be on Netflix. So for some context, if you don't know, the UFC are currently under negotiations with a new TV deal. And the rumours for a very long time were that of Netflix. But it doesn't look like they're going down that route anymore. Or at least it sounded like Netflix wanted a total package where they would get the major UFC fights and the major boxing fights as well. Or potentially they didn't even want the UFC fights and they just wanted a couple of these sort of events. Regardless, Dana White is officially the promoter for it, which I do believe is still bizarre. I still really think that's super bizarre. And the fact that they have quite opposing views in Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White, to be honest. Not in everything, but in how events are run. Dana White doesn't even like stadiums, first and foremost. Turki Al-Sheikh loves making as big of a splash as he possibly can. As fights go, for the casuals, this one is as good as it gets. It really is. Let me know what you think. As always, keep it casual.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates. Until next time.